It's a 10-minute drawing again, and this time I did something in watercolors. Yeah, yippee. So as I'm touching up the final details, I thought I would try to record myself and tell you some stuff about this little drawing that I did. It was really fun to do. I mean, it was a pain, but the result is amazing. I mean, the result is very nice. I like it. So I cannot say that it wasn't fun to do, because in the end it's very fun to look at it, in spite of it being a disastrous experience overall. Did that make any sense? No, of course not. I guess that's something to be expected from me. So, this drawing is not really what you would expect. I mean, it started as a draw this again challenge, because I saw it a couple of times and I liked it a lot, and I said I'm gonna do one. So I went all the way and dug up my old drawings, and in the end I found them, which is a miracle. More on that later. I can tell you now that I had to dig all the way into my shelves and see where I placed this and that and the other thing and the other thing, because they're so mixed around. Most of my stuff is tucked away in a drawer, and no one's ever seen them since. So what I did was that I dug up this one, which is from 2010 or close, and it's pretty much the most elaborated drawing of the time when I was drawing it. The kimono was done in tempera. Also the face has some tempera on it. At the time I was using tempera, gouache, a mix of stuff. The background is watercolors. So I thought, okay, I'll do this again, because kimonos are very fun to draw. They're elaborate, they're elegant, they're complex, and you can do a lot of things with them. You can invent all sorts of stuff. And I was in a big Japanese mood at the time. The whole Memories of a Geisha was big, I think. I'm not sure, but it kind of was. And of course I had to join the big trend and do my own geishas and stuff. So I thought, okay, I was proud of this drawing at the time. I'm gonna try again. And well, this drawing went to a lot of transformations, because the first tries weren't very bright. Like, I drew the sketch on my favorite type of paper, the one that has text on it, on the back, like old printer paper that nobody's gonna use again. And this was the sketch. Initially the hand was here, then I changed my mind, then I placed this one here, and she has a fan running up. And then I did two more, just in case I don't like that. And this one is like a joke or something. It's not very great. And here we have, well, another version. I kind of regret not adding it, but I can add it next time. I wanted to have her kimono visible, and this one is covering her kimono. So yeah. So I placed it over my window and I traced it, and I traced the character. Can you see it? Because this is like really tiny. Yeah, you can see it. So I traced her, and she was fine. And then I wanted to add a secondary character because the place was empty. And I was very serious about the second character, and I did a hard time. The only thing that went wrong was that I placed it up here, and the distance between her and her was too big. So I tried to add a pavilion, like where this one would be staying, like she would be on a higher level, and that didn't work out. So then I tried to trace it with tracing paper, and then I used a very common tool for copying, which is this, you know. And this well, it didn't work. Let's leave it at that, because she turned out really black. I mean, really blue. And I was afraid. I didn't have the confidence that I could pull out a good coloring over that, so I dropped it completely. I can still use the back, so you know, the back is perfectly capable of bearing more color, more watercolors on it. And I did succeed in doing this one fairly proper. And yeah. Other things that I changed a lot of things on this drawing, painting. First, I did a very black tone here. I wanted to create a darker, fading in kind of thing. And, well, it was a complete and utter failure. So, fortunately, I managed to reduce the coloring and lighten up it, picks out the color. My watercolors allow me to pick up the color, so I wetted this one with a lot of water and I dropped it over that, and luckily I could lift off most of the color. This remains here, but I can say that that's where the ceiling starts, or I can just remove it if I ever decide to crop it. And then I was again very inspired, and I tried to add shadow over these, like I added here and here and here and almost everywhere. And the shading looked awful, and I had to erase that one too, again with the wetting and lifting. This is a 160 gram thick paper, and it allowed me. It didn't warp. It warped when I got it wet, but then it returned to normal, which was very nice of it. Here it's still a little warped. I can feel it, but it's not devastating, and I think it will set straight after I unpeel the tight tape. And well, it's not completely done. I don't know what I was planning to do. Ah, yes. I wanted to add some wires, some green stuff on that, because that is the proper thing to have on a flower themed kimono. It can't be floating around like that. First, I'll add some flying birds. I wanted to add some flying birds here over these leaves. No, it's over the top. I'm not adding them. I'm taking them out. Yeah, you can sit without flying birds. Other things that I managed to fix on the go were the decorations. Like up here, some of the substance, some of the colors bled, or some of my very talented hands slipped a little bit here and there. So what I managed to do was get the color off by wetting the surface and quickly lifting it off with water, with tissue. That helped. And yeah, so kind of always have a tissue next to you. It can save your life or something like that. Other stuff would be, I don't know, experiment, test it before putting it on paper. I barely test anything, I'm so lazy. So, yeah. But testing is useful. I would have avoided many mistakes and maybe I would have finished quicker. If only I would have bothered to test out my ideas. So that once placed on the paper they would be properly there, not like randomly there. So yeah, about the representation here, I don't know if it's completely well done, if it's 100% the way it's supposed to be. I think this is a Michael, but I kind of think it's a geisha too. I mean, it's not necessarily a Michael because Michaels have these under kimono in the color of red, and I did it on white because that's what I wanted. I didn't want her to be a Michael, I wanted her to be a geisha, so she's properly colored to fit that. Other information, I don't know what else I could tell you about her. I had to figure out the way to draw these hands so that they would look well. I used my own hand with a fan because I am a proud owner of fans and a proud owner of most of the things I own, but nonetheless. And I managed to get a fairly good looking fan and hand holding it. So I don't know what else I can say. There are probably gonna be some more tweaking and fixings. I need to add something on these things. Maybe I'll add some leaves or something because initially I wanted to add a text, but I have no idea what Japanese writing does to life, so why ruin my life? No thank you. Okay. Anything else? I don't know. I hope you liked it. There's gonna be a time lapse. I'm putting everything together. I recorded everything. Most of it, that is, like the important parts and stuff. No, actually it's everything. It's everything recorded except for the time when I erased this thing because at the time I was almost giving up on the drawing. So yeah, there are some things missing, but you're not missing much. I kind of liked how this window turned out. Took a lot of time. Hopefully it will look good till the end. I can still ruin this drawing. At any point it can get ruined. And I need to figure out what I'm gonna put here down here because it needs some contrast. I always go to ask advice about it and I got told to add some contrast. So I'm gonna add the contrast. And let's see how it will finally look out. See you at the time lapse, which will be sometime soon. Bye. And like, subscribe, come again. See ya.